You can find movies on over-the-air channel 13.3. Movies. Our name says it all.
And welcome back to Connect with Me here on Me TV Fresno. This is a special edition of this program. We are on vacation this week. No phone calls. Sorry about that. Today we're going to talk about your water bill. Are the rates going up? No, not really. They didn't raise the rates, but they're charging you more if you use your credit or debit card. We'll tell you about it when we come back. Back here in the program talking about water rates, and how many times have we done that the last few years here, including, we talked about Measure G forever, we talked about the water rates going up forever, and it's amazing we're back here again. This is a special taped edition, no phone calls, we're all on vacation this week, but time to remind you that we're on Comcast still, Channel 187, but at the end of August, at some point, not sure when, I don't think anybody knows when, we're going to be switching channels on Comcast. No longer will it be on 187, it'll be on 375. We'll keep you up to date on that change. If you have an antenna over-the-air broadcast, 43.6 and 13.1, and now, of course, 8.1. And then, hey, the replay of this program, it happens twice a day. Each and every day, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on 13.6, 8 o'clock at night, 4.6 Biz TV. Be surprised how many people actually watch that replay during the day. I was kind of fascinated the other day when somebody told me. Anyway, at the Twitter account is @JohnMallows, Me TV. So once again, tackling the issue of water rates and what to do about it. Did any of you happen to catch that flyer, that pink flyer that was in the mail recently that came with your utility bill? If you missed it, listen up. Let's put that thing up on the screen. There it is right there. It's pink in nature. You can kind of tell the color there. It's the flyer that supposedly came in the mail last month. I happen to miss mine, maybe by design. That's what they wanted. Basically, it passes along more money to you, the consumer. The mailer is also posted at City Hall informing you that there are new fees for swiping your card when you pay your utility bill. Now, for the last several years, the city has taken care of debit and credit fees, but no longer. As of July 1, they will pay a 2.3% convenience fee. You will, the consumer. It's coming out of your pocket, my friends. In 2013 and 2014, the city spent more than $1.5 million in debit and credit fees and more than $2 million for the first 6 months of this year. Let me give you an example. If your bill averages $50 a month, and I'm not saying it does, but I'm just for the sake of argument, you'll be charged an extra $1.15. That's the convenience fee I'm talking about. So, do you want to pay that? No. Mark Standriff, by the way, once again has stonewalled us here at Connect with Me regarding this issue, which means he is shortchanging you, the loyal viewer. Standriff hauls in roughly $125,000 a year as Director of Communications for the City of Fresno. But he's not communicating with you or me. He did in an email. I'll show you that later in the program, not now. I spoke to him by phone, asked him to appear on this program today for the tape version about the convenience fee. He said he would be in a meeting. He offered up Mike Lima, the city's finance director, then backed out of that. Now, here's what Mark Standriff did tell CBS Channel 47 about that fee here in Fresno. And I'm quoting now, every dollar that we take in that doesn't go to a credit card fee that we can out into city services like parks, like first responders, we think that's a much wiser investment than giving it to some credit card company. Standriff has failed miserably in providing this show with guests to speak on various hot topics involving the city of Fresno. Live in our studio right now, well, actually it's on tape, but he's still alive here in the studio, and that is Doug Vagim, who knows what it's like to be banging heads with the city of Fresno on issues like this and many, many other issues like Measure G and this water issue that seems to have gone on forever. All right, no phone calls on this day, but we're going to delve deep into this subject, get all the gritty details out on the table here for you on this water issue. If you're paying with a credit card, if you're paying with a debit card, and you go down to City Hall and say, here's my credit card, and I want to pay my water bill, okay, there's going to be an extra 2.3% convenience fee charged to you. Did you know that was happening? I didn't until, I didn't see it in the Bee, I didn't see it in the paper, I saw it on one television station, that was Channel 47. Back with this program in just a moment.
Tune in to Heartland for the best in true country music. Relive vintage specials, one-of-a-kind concerts, and country music's earliest videos. Heartland is the heart of country. The only place where you can find country music, country stars, and country lifestyles 24/7. Heartland, the heart of country.
Now on channel 13.2.
Is taking care of laundry taking too much of your time? Have you become a missing mom? With a new fast, efficient washer and dryer from Ventura TV Video Appliance, you'll spend more of your day the way you want. Save now on Frigidaire's Advanced Affinity Laundry Pair. Let Frigidaire save you energy, water, and time. Don't spend your life on laundry. Upgrade today at Ventura TV Video Appliance and save.
Does it seem like City Hall is trying to squeeze more and more money out of you, the consumer, without you even knowing about it? I don't know. Was this thing publicized? Was it in the paper? Was it... if they're doing a convenience fee, you would think they'd have to run this by the city council, take a vote on it, have the people come up to the microphone and talk about it during a public forum at City Hall. Nothing happened. Nothing even came close to that happening. They just added this convenience fee on here, 2.3%. No phone calls on this day, but I want you to pay close attention if you can, if you have the time today, for the next hour or so. Doug Vagim is here. Good to see you, Doug. Good morning.
John, good to see you. Thanks.
I'm glad you're here.
Well, thank you. Good to be here.
So let's put the picture of the flyer up on the screen one more time. Good question. Why wasn't this run through City Hall? I mean, not City Hall, but through the City Council.
Yes, well, that's a good question. It's a policy issue. To me, it's a huge policy issue in the fact that it's going to affect those who are forced to buy something from the city, like your utilities, for example. It also affects every other department in the city, whether you go buy a police record or you pay for copies of something, or no matter if it's the planning department where your plan checks used to be no cost to the customer if they used a credit card. Now it will be a 2.3 charge. My biggest issue is this 2.3 charge for a person who is on the utility end of the spectrum and having to use their credit cards because the rates have gone up so much, and even the city admits that increase of credit card use has gone up. Well,
why is that?
Well, because basically the city's revenue from 2005 to today has gone up 400%.
Because of the utility bill?
Well, because of a combination of the rates, combination of a little growth. I don't think the city's grown 400%. I don't think...
So, but the city's revenue has grown by 400% in 10 years.
In the city water department, yes.
In the city water department, by 400%. And that comes from the city itself?
Well, that's in their reports, yes.
Wow. 400% gain in revenue.
And that's a combination of a little growth, of course, but mostly rates. The city hasn't grown 400%. I don't think the riches of the individuals in this city has grown 400%. So basically it's rates. And people were turning more and more to their credit and debit cards for not just convenience, because they wanted a little float, what you get when you use your credit card. Even if you pay all of it 100% every month, you get a 20-day float in your credit card, and plus 20 days, because if you do it the first day and then by the time the bill comes and time it's required to pay, it sometimes up to 45, 50 days. So, but now you're going to get hit up from the first transaction, 2.3%.
But should this issue have gone through the city council?
Well, I believe it should have. It's that important of a public policy issue. I believe it should have. Yes.
Why didn't it then?
I have
in your opinion.
In my opinion,
City
they
trying to
just
hide
didn't.
something, or what?
Just don't think they were wanting to stand out in front of this. They wanted this thing to be a background, transactional, back office. This is just never mind.
Low publicity.
Well, the mayor had a press conference on the E application. The E application is basically this.
Yeah.
This thing. They put
She had a
the
news conference. I think we have a picture of it. But the fact of the matter is, I only saw this publicized on one television station. Is that the news conference you're talking about?
For the E application, yeah. That's
right,
on the front page of their home page. It revolves with about 4 other pictures.
Right, but I didn't see this in the newspaper. What are we looking at there? That's the...
That's the front page of the website.
I see,
City
okay.
of Fresno. And that
All
picture revolves with about 3 other pictures.
But this should have been maybe news on the front page of the Bee, perhaps other stations.
I would have hoped it would have got a much broader public outreach, and the reason why, probably Channel 47 did their work and they went and found the story, but it seems like everyone else just said, never mind, what is it? It's just a little transaction, so what?
But it's going to save the city about $2 million a year, roughly speaking. That's not an exact figure.
Well, every merchant that uses a credit card, like Ventura TV or anybody else, pays the credit card company a little bit of a transaction fee for the privilege of using and having the convenience of having that card as a nationwide access to a credit card from somebody that walks in from Timbuktu can shop here with their credit card.
All right, but let me play devil's advocate real quick before I go to break here. I got to take a commercial break. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with the city doing that?
There's nothing wrong with it on the general fund side. There's plenty wrong with it on the utility side.
Because?
Well, because one, you're mandating people to pay their bills or to have their water. I don't have to go get a police record if I don't want it. Okay. I don't have to do a plan check if I don't want it. If I want to go make money by building something, it's gonna be my option whether I want to bring a check or I want to be able to. It's an ad hoc type of a transaction.
But you have the same option here at Ventura TV.
Yes, you do, but you make a choice whether or not you want to shop here. You make a choice of whether or not you want to buy something here that particular day. Fresno City Utilities, it's a mandate. Every month you're going to get that bill. Every month you're going to get that bill.
Or you're going to get your water cut off. So it's a mandate versus an option?
An option, correct. Now, even if you argue that, okay, things have changed, we need to have that extra revenue, the city has to have that extra revenue that they're getting charged by the credit card companies. The only way to do that is to pass it on to the consumer. Well, to me, that is something why the city council and the public at large should have the ability to have a discussion on this. They avoided that. They put it under the covers, they put it under the wraps, and they roll it out with a press conference. The mayor didn't even talk about the surcharge fee. She talked about the e-app. The whole reason for the e-app is for the surcharge fee. So you can pay your bills through your mobile phone.
Yeah. Okay. Doug Vagim is here talking about the water rates. In a way, this is kind of like raising your water rates without raising them. And so the convenience fee is 2.3%. If, and only if, I want to stress this, only if you use a debit or a credit card, you'll get that 2.3% convenience fee. We're back with Doug Vagim. No phone calls, a tape program. Back in a moment.
Take a look at this. Let's play.
This is too hip for you. I'll slow down.
Let's play.
Watch all your favorite classic game shows on Buzzer TV, KBBC Digital Channel 13.7.
Want to create something extraordinary? Create perfection. Our lifestyle appliances make it easy. KitchenAid, Ventura TV appliance, and you, when only the best will do.
To find this missing child. Patrick Alford was 8 when he went missing. He was last seen in Brooklyn, New York in January of 2010. This is what we believe he looks like today at age 12. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring Patrick Alford home.
All right, back here at Ventura TV, and you're watching us, and not live this time, but we're on tape this morning because we're on vacation back next week, and talking to Doug Vagim about the, the water rates, and you wanted to add something to that 2.3% convenience fee if you use your credit or debit.
Credit or debit for wherever you pay your transactions, from the website to the counter or any other place that the city will have the ability for you to pay something you owe the city. Okay. However, they have done something else. If you think your bank can just go ahead and write a check, like you e-bill your bank,
like an e-check or something.
Yeah, e-check. You tell your banks to pay my bills for me.
Yeah.
There will be an 89-cent flat charge for every one of those. So it's like instead of putting a 49-cent stamp on an envelope and mailing it to the city, they will charge you like 2 stamps.
2 stamps that take care of it if your bank does it for you.
Yeah.
And so, let me get this straight now. You have a 2.3% convenience fee tacked onto your bill.
Right.
Plus 89 cents if you have your bank do it for you.
Not plus, or 89 cents if your bank does it for you.
Oh, so it's not in addition to?
No, it's one or the other.
Oh, okay. So now I understand. So if you're having your bank do the transaction, instead of paying the 2.3% convenience fee, you're paying 89 cents.
89 cents for each time you do an e-bill transfer into the city's payment system.
That's interesting. Okay. And
heretofore, it's free. Now, I want to remind everyone, the Bank of America, the PG&E and big department stores that have their own credit cards, when you pay your credit card bill for them, or your PG&E bill, they have the ability to allow you to go into your bank account and allow them to pull money out directly out of your checking account, which is not uncommon in the industry. And the banks generally allow that to be a very cost-effective, almost nothing. They don't charge practically anything of those PG. That's why they use it. They don't want their bills paid with credit card either without a surcharge. PG&E's been doing that for years, but they've allowed you to set up your bank account. I'll tell you, Mr. PG&E or Mrs. PG&E, when you come into when I pay my bill, I want you to go to my bank account and pull my money out. They do that for free, okay? Major credit cards for major department stores do the same thing. City of Fresno, through this organization, is going to charge 89 cents if you do that.
And the name of that organization is?
Heartland Payment Systems, Inc. They're part of Wells Fargo.
Okay. And so let me put up this graphic again. This one I used during the monologue. It's called Your Average Bill. Okay. Again, you don't have a problem with this, right? I mean, look, if you pay an average of $50 a month, you're going to be charged an extra fee of $1.15, and the city's looking at this. So what? It's an extra $1.15. What's the big deal, Doug Vagim?
Okay, it's inevitability. I agree, and the economics are tight, and the city's trying to get every dollar they can get out of everybody. But the fact of it is, they are getting new money out of individuals in this community who heretofore were not having to pay that charge. It was a true convenience. When Ventura TV or any other entity that uses credit cards, they don't end up charging me when I come in here and buy something a convenience fee for using a credit card.
Why is it called a convenience fee?
Because it's a euphemism for that we're going to get you anyway, so we'll call it something nice. And the convenience is basically an extension of the ability to use plastic to pay a bill. So they're saying, well, it's a convenience, we're going to charge you a fee for that convenience, versus us being charged to use that convenience. Now, most retailers...
Are you saying that the city is being deceiving the way that they're
I believe they are. They should have just said it up front. We need to charge money for all our transactions now if you're going to have the ability to use plastic, and you're going to have to pay for it. Most people, when they go to a service station, they look at the two different prices, don't they? They say plastic credit or cash. They see that. Most people drive by those places but say, heck, I'm not going to, if I have a credit card, I'm not going to go pay 10 cents more a gallon. They'll find a place, which there are a few in this town, more than a few, that don't charge you a credit card fee. And most of those are very well
So the problem
visited.
you have with this is that you want the city to be more upfront about what they're trying to do.
They should have had it on their website. It's not even on their website yet.
Okay.
And it should have been part of the front page when the mayor and her freelance of folks in the Praetorian Guard, I'll say it, were standing around her, that they would have announced at the time they were rolling out the e-app that there's a 2.3% calculation built into the system.
Who's part of the guard system there? I'm just curious.
Well, I think the guy you keep talking about who doesn't speak very much but getting paid to speak.
All right, you're talking about that e-app Heartland news conference, but I do want to put up that receipt. Let's put up the graphic of that receipt. It's not really a graphic, it's actually a picture of the receipt. And I want to talk about this receipt here because this receipt relates to what I'm about to say. If you go online and pay this with a credit or a debit, you don't get charged, at least not yet, with that convenience fee. Because why, Doug? And how does this receipt relate to it?
Well, first of all, it's truth in financing. It's really preventing them from doing this on the online because they don't have their system ready yet. But that notice, if you remember that notice that you just showed,
what does this receipt have to do with it?
That's at a cash register at the city hall.
Okay, but the reason that you can't, I want to get to the point here. The point is if you pay online with a credit or a debit, you're not going to get charged the 2.3% convenience fee because you're not going to get a receipt like this.
They can't do this yet on the web, yes.
They can't do it. They can't print out a receipt for you.
No, they're building that in right now. So you as a customer, when you go pay your bill online, which I've always done, I don't even open that bill.
Okay.
And I didn't see the flyer until some people started calling me up. Did you see the flyer? No, I didn't. So I went and looked and saw the flyer.
Doug Vagim didn't see it. I mean,
so I looked and I said, sure enough, in July, which was my bill was due.
Yeah.
So I went and put a stamp on an envelope and went through all that. Now I find out because they don't have this implemented, they are not charging it.
But
through
that
the
receipt right there is the key to them not implementing the program online.
Because they don't have that.
Debit.
They don't have that in place yet.
And by law, you have to do that.
You have to show that, right?
Okay, but once that program is in place, it's part of the software program that they're installing, I'm sure.
And updating the web pages.
Right, and once that's installed, they're going to start charging that convenience fee?
Yes, through the website, yes.
Through the website. Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
and they'll probably have to show that 89-cent e-bill charge too.
Yeah, they'll probably have to show that too. At some point, they got to get the software in place, got to take a break. Boy, any way they can to squeeze a dollar, forget about a dollar, squeeze a penny out of you, a penny, for goodness sake. It goes right into the fund, right? Maybe not the general fund, but the utility fund. All right, no phone calls on this day. A special program. We're on tape. Back in a moment.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. James Bell is an alleged child predator. Bell's wanted for molesting 3 girls ages 9 through 13 while working at a local YMCA in 2003. He was arrested, then fled. Bell has worked as a gymnastics instructor, coach, and a computer repairman. Bell could be anywhere along the West Coast. If you know where he is, call 617-742-5533.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Colt as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television.
You can find Retro TV on over-the-air channel 13.4.
Back here with the one and only, and you know, the city of Fresno is glad there is only one, Doug Vagim, and isn't that the truth, right?
Well, I wish there was more because I think the city needs a few more watchdogs and someone who's attentive because there are things that people would really be surprised when they learn about them, and sometimes the press and the media do not have the time to get into all of them, and and you just run out of time to go cover all that stuff. So when you grab a thread and it comes up like something like this, I think we all owe it to each other to talk about it.
Hey, Doug, I noticed you're fit and healthy. You're losing a lot of weight. Are you getting in shape to fit into that mayor's chair there? I mean, they got a special chair for you there at the mayor's office.
Well, I don't know about any chair. I just wanted to lose some weight to get around faster and easier, and it feels a lot better not carrying 30 or 40 more pounds around.
Oh, man, you look great. You look healthy, and glad you're here. And I do want to put up the picture of Mark Standriff again, because I did talk to him on the phone last week. Not a very pleasant conversation with Mark, and you described him on the phone to me as well. He guards the mayor.
He's the Praetorian Guard.
He guards the mayor.
Yeah. And
you think that's his primary job?
Don't know, but the fact of it is, I told him once that I thought that was what he was brought in for, and obviously anything to do with the mayor, he's pretty close to it. The pictures on the website showed him right there. Basically, you could have put a Praetorian Guard uniform on him, and it would fit right there, pretty good.
Well, do you think he's out of here once the mayor's term is up?
I suspect so. I mean, that's my theory. He's here to assist the mayor. Well, I don't want to trash. The guy has qualities.
No, he does.
And I like him in the sense that he's an
intelligent guy.
He's got a foundational purpose to his MO. However, he's carrying some water or other stuff for the city that I believe he ought to, in his position, push harder for public access and public awareness. And this is an example where that wasn't done.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mark's a good guy. I have nothing against Mark personally. I just have a difficult time when I am doing a show like this today, and I want somebody, a representative. It would have been nice to have either Mark or the mayor or somebody from the city sit next to you and debate this issue about the convenience fee, but each time I call, you know, I'm getting I told Mark, you're stonewalling me. He goes, no, I'm not stonewalling you. He goes, I have a meeting today. I have a meeting. I can't appear on the program. So I mentioned that he would not talk to us, but he did send us an email, and I want to put up 4 quotes. Let's put up number 1, part of the email system that he sent me. This is quote number 1 regarding the 2.3% convenience fee, the topic we're dealing with today. Those bank charges, says Mark Standriff, total millions of taxpayer dollars every year. In fact, for the 2014-2015 fiscal year, city paid over $2.1 million in bank processing fees. Doug, you want to respond?
Well, that's true, except it's across the whole department, all departments. Public utilities is just one part of the venues in which credit cards were used. They were allowing credit cards to be used for plan checks, to buy police records, to get copies of volumes of information needed for various reasons. Now they are telling everyone up front, when you go to those counters to pay for that stuff, it's going to cost you 2.3%. Look, that's a point of reality that government agencies are trying to raise money wherever they can. Okay, that's fine, but that's a policy issue I think the council ought to have been on a public discussion. Number 1, it wasn't done. But the biggest issue for me is the public utility arena, in which the ratepayers ought to have been told that now their bills, because so many of them are using them. Why? Because the rates went up.
But if you ask Standriff, he's going to say, look, the mayor held that EAP Heartland / whatever you want to call it news conference.
Never talked about 2.3% convenience fee in there, did she? I didn't see it, but it was either cut out of the news coverage or whatever. And the 89-cent e-bill that most people get for free now. You know, most people, when they pay their e-bills, aren't charged. Fresno will now kick back an 89-cent charge on you.
All right. Quote. Let me ask you something before I go to quote 2. Is this a way of raising the rates without raising the rates?
It is a rate raise. It definitely is to the customer. They are
to a certain segment of the customer base.
Well, look, I can pay by check, by cash, or by credit card. It's a lot easier for me to sit there, be reading my emails, and say I got to pay some bills right now, and go to the thing and pay the thing and get it out of the way, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to think about it. 2.3%?
Do I want to do that?
Yeah, I'll take a stamp and I'll do this.
All right.
Now, here's the thing that they haven't thought about. What happens if everyone starts doing the stamp in the envelope? How many more staff is it going to take for them to open the envelopes and take out?
Yeah, are they going to charge us for that too?
What if everyone goes down there and starts paying by cash?
Yeah.
Who's going to be, how many people are they going to need to control that? I don't think they really thought it through, to be honest with you.
No. All right, quote number 2, that money has to come out of the budget where we could be spending the $2 million to restore or improve city services. Mark Standriff, quote number 2, Doug.
Right, well, first of all, a general fund is a proper way for that to be spent through the general fund, and that is a general fund type of privilege. However, when it comes to utilities, which is guided by the Proposition 218 restriction, in which our charges for water are structured based on a computation of cost to deliver that service.
Yeah.
If you add now this as a part of your cost of service, then basically you are increasing the rate. You are increasing the rate. And if you are doing that, you cannot say because 100% that you're charging me, that 2.3%, does not go to the city. It goes to Heartland. The city sees none of that money.
Right.
They are extrapolating, well, since we were paying it to the credit card companies, we're going to say now it's a savings and we'll spend the savings. In other words, they're making it up. And by spending the savings...
The city's not making money on this. It's going to Heartland.
But they're saying we're saving money because we're not paying the credit card. And so we'll be able to spend the extra saving money.
Right.
Like, you know, like the old...
Well, it's true. They are saving money. They're not making money, but they're saving money.
Right. It was the old days back in the 90s when
instead of them paying Heartland, we're paying Heartland.
Yeah, remember we had the peacetime bonus after the war of stuff like that. Well, when we come back, if you want to talk about this further, the fact of it is, I do not believe the utility fund should be, because it's a 100% of the rate cost in that utility fund is the cost to deliver that service. If you start doling it out for other purposes than the cost of delivering that water, you are violating Proposition 218 in the utility area.
Which violates law.
Violates the law. Now, general fund's different.
Yeah.
And if they're going to want to do these programs that they say they wanted to do for the affordability, that needs to come out of the general fund.
Yeah. Well, I wish Mark Standriff was here.
Well,
I like the guy.
Yeah,
I like the guy. He's very personable, very intelligent.
You just got to break it a paragraph every once in a while.
Pardon me?
You just got to break it a paragraph every once in a while because.
Well, it's okay. You know, Mark's. You know, I don't know. If I was George Hofstadter, the Bee, or somebody else from Channel 30, I'm sure he'd provide some guest for us, but we're not. So. Anyway, no phone calls on this day. You can call in next week, though, but we're going to be back with this special tape program in a moment.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. Julio Cesar Guevara Mejia is wanted by the FBI in Sacramento for the attempted murder of a 19-year-old female in November of 2007. Police say he lured the young woman to a hotel room where he shot her 3 times in the chest. He could be in Palm Springs, California or Houston, Texas. Contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI if you have any information.
Frigidaire. It means the first refrigerator. It means a history of innovations that help make your home life better. And now we introduce the new Frigidaire French door refrigerator with over 100 ways to organize for maximum flexibility. Built with adjustable flip-up and slide-under shelving and stackable crisper drawers. It's the refrigerator that flexes to fit it all, no matter what your day will bring. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Well, I guess we're at the halfway point here with Doug Vagim talking about these water rates and the convenience fee, and so you were talking about the utility fund, and it can't be abused like the general fund because of Prop 218. Explain that a little further, if you would.
All the rates in the utility billing have been computed by cost of delivery. In Proposition 218, that cost of delivery is based on a proportional use.
Okay.
So if you use, or I use, or anybody else uses a different amount, I'll get charged a different amount. The computation to deliver that in the total has been computed by the probability of you and I using our amounts of water that we've used. Then that is computed in the rate. We as citizens have a right to say yes or no to that through the protest process, in which, if you remember, we took 400 the time before and got almost 50,000 when we had our new discussions with the city. The fact that now this rate has been set, it has been set to be in perpetuity until the next rate increase is allowed, which we just went through.
Is it because it's structured?
It's structured, and July 1.
And the rates are set.
We just had a rate increase July 1.
Okay.
It went to $1.09 a gallon, $1.09 100 cubic feet.
Okay.
From the 63 cents that it stepped up when originally was reset by us, it went up another a portion before it got to the $1.09. Now it's back to $1.09, which is still, by the way, John, 33% cheaper than what they wanted to charge us in 2013. So.
Okay, Mark Standriff, quote number 3, responding to the convenience fee. Mark could not be here today, said he was in a meeting, that he is not stonewalling us, according to him, but he says every penny that goes to the bank is taxpayer money the city can't use for more police officers and firefighters, new equipment for first responders, park building or renovations, fighting blight, or holding utility fees down. Holding utility fees down? Holding utility fees down?
Yeah. Well,
did I read that correctly?
Well, I read it exactly what it says, and that's what he said. And,
wow.
And the fact that they have, well, as you know, and you've been following this thing for a long time, that we did lower the rates by our citizens group. It's basically 33% lower than what they wanted to roll out in 2013. So we're proud of that. We've saved the citizens of this community millions of dollars. Now they're back at trying to find out ways of getting more money, and they've done it in undercover now with this 2.3%. Now, one of the things that they promised everyone when we pushed their back against the corner about your rates are too high, you're going to affect the people of this community, which is one of the lowest per capita income communities in this state, that you need to do something economically, whether it's an adjustment to their ability to have water-saving devices, which I suggested. The city came up with their own answer, calling the Water Affordability Act. And they said when they rolled out the Water Affordability Act, we're going to do this, where are you going to get the money? We're going to do this through magic. We're going to get it because there's late fees and there's this and that, and we're going to be able to roll that money. I guess they found out that there wasn't sufficient amount of money to make that $1 million.
All right, here's the question that Mark Standriff is posing, and maybe Doug Vagim can answer this. I don't know, but let's put quote number 4 up on the screen. There it is. The question is, says Mark, is it better for the individual customer to absorb the cost for processing the payment, or to make all taxpayers responsible for paying those charges? Doug?
Well, why doesn't he go out and ask all the retailers of this community, how come you're not charging your customers a surcharge to use their credit card? How come when you go into the mom and pop back alley type service station, they have one gas station price on the pump, and when you walk in there's a little sign that sits on top of the register, we charge 50 cents if you use a debit or credit card? Credit card companies crack down on those people. They crack down hard on those people. And that's why the city has done what they've done and not put this out on the website yet, because they need to put that notice up front before you pay your bill, number one. Or number two, like service stations now who do charge a double charge, they got to put it up on front on the marquee. When you drive by a service station, it says credit or it says cash. Now, the city of Fresno is doing the same thing. They're saying credit or cash is what your utility cost will be if you pay this way. Now, unfortunately, I don't walk into a counter without getting into a lot of hassle to go down to City Hall or Manchester Center to pay the bill. I'll prefer to put it in an envelope and mail it. I would have preferred it by using the website, but now they've taken that convenience away and they're reversing it and saying, you want to use that convenience? Then fine. We're going to charge you 2.3% every time you pay your bill. It's not my choice to go down if I want just an ad hoc copy of something. I get that. It's my choice if I want to do that or not. But on a utility situation, I got primary problems. I ought to have told 130,000 customers and ratepayers of this community they're going to get basically a higher rate if they use their credit card.
All right, you wanted us to use a couple of full screens here, and you can judge for yourself at home what Doug is talking about. Let's put the first one up. It's the resolution of adopting a water affordability credit program. That's it right now. You can't see that too well on the screen, but you're not really supposed to. I mean, it's the purpose of this is what, Doug? What is this credit program? What are we talking about here? Why'd you want us to show this?
Well, in there it says that they're getting their money, and there's another document that's not part of this picture that's related to this, that they basically have told everybody when they were putting this together there was sufficient money in the system to garner that $1 million that they promised to the first 16,700 customers that came and applied through the affordability app that qualified, they would get a $5 discount on their bill.
You're talking about the low-income people, those who might be on Social Security, maybe they're retired, they're on a fixed income, they're low income, they can't afford much. So they would only accept 16,000 of these people, and that is the affordability credit program that they were talking about.
Remember, they used to have a senior discount for water. They had to take that away. Why'd they have to take that away? They kept saying because Proposition 218 would not allow us to pass on a senior discount.
And what about this document here?
That's the application.
That's the application for the credit program.
Right, and for the low income $5 discount.
Right, and the senior citizens discount application
is separate.
Is separate from that.
But there is two applications in one on that application. There's a senior citizen discount, and then there's a low income discount for a different, one is for sewer and the other one is for solid waste.
All right, so before we go to break, what's the status of the affordability credit program?
No one knows. I'm trying to find out, and we don't know how much money is in the queue. We don't know how many applications have been done. That needs to be garnered. They should be publishing that. They should have put a website up to show how many are left or how many to go. They should have promoted it. They didn't do much.
What's the cutoff? What's the criteria for income?
Oh, it's the same thing if you qualify for the PG&E Care program or if you get food stamps or that kind of thing. It's an automatic qualification. But they also have an income level, the same kind of income level PG&E gives you a discount.
And only 16,000 will qualify for that.
16,700 uses up $1 million bucks. Okay, there's probably about 60 to 70,000 households that could qualify. The first 16,700 will exhaust the program.
But you were telling me they make you sign a document that says you use how much in terms of water.
Well, they tell you that we're going to be watching you if you sign this document. You better not use more than 1,800 cubic feet of water, or we're going to say you're basically violating your affordability. Your agreement.
Really?
Yeah.
So they force you to use less water than the average person?
Well, they just want you to commit to something they didn't make somebody else commit to, which I think is a whole reason why they should not be using the utility system to implement this affordability. They ought to be using the general fund. This is a general fund type program, and it ought to be funded by the general fund. Yeah. And if they're going to be using credit card surcharges through the general fund departments, those ought to come to pay this affordability, because this is a council discussed item, and it was passed by the council, signed by the mayor, that we're going to have affordability program. It should not be coming out of the utility program.
Okay, Doug Vagim is here. We're going to be back with more on this special taped edition of Connect With Me back in a moment.
It's almost time.
Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent, the Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman?
Fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the Me TV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The Adventures of Superman.
Now on Me TV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
We get our speed from Mom and Dad. They do stuff super fast. And now they got this new kitchen, so they're even faster. So they can help us with our free throws.
The time-saving Frigidaire Gallery line with a quick preheat and smudge-proof stainless steel that resists fingerprints and cleans easily. It's mealtime in no time, from start to clean. Frigidaire Gallery.
Save more during Frigidaire Gallery bonus days when you buy 3 or more qualifying appliances. See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Well, Ken, according to these mailers, which we're told were sent out a few weeks ago, customers who use their debit or credit cards for transactions here at City Hall will now be charged a fee. But why the switch? Well, according to city officials, the cost for these credit and debit card fees were through the roof. We investigated and found those numbers, and they're pretty shocking.
You may have gotten this in the mail or seen these at City Hall. Notices of new fees for swiping your card.
So the decision was made to take basically that 2.3% that we get charged and just pass that on to the customer.
A 2.3% fee that's starting July 1st is coming out of customers' pockets if they use their debit or credit card at City Hall for payments like water bills and development fees.
I don't think they should charge anybody, for their hard work money, and especially the
water bill going up and stuff.
According to the city, what's going up is its cost. And we investigated and found these numbers for the last couple of years. The city spending over $1 million in credit and debit card fees, more than $2 million for the first 6 months of this year. Money, it says, can be better spent instead of taken out of the general and enterprise funds.
And every dollar that we can take that doesn't go towards a credit card fee, that we can put into city services like parks, like first responders, that's something that we think is a much wiser investment than, for instance, giving it to some credit card agency.
A brand new credit card processor that now allows the city to charge its customers instead. And so far, the switch is in effect at 9 city departments. And for the average person, city spokesperson Mark Standriff says it will hardly be felt.
Dollar here, dollar there, it all adds up, at the end,
Here's the breakdown. A water bill of $50 will cost you an extra $1.15. For a business tax certificate, you're looking at an extra 25 cents, and a 4-hour rental of the Selland Arena, an extra $40. And the decision to charge customers was made administratively without council input.
At first, when you hear about an additional fee being passed on to ratepayers, you cringe.
But Councilmember Clint Olivier says following the city's financial slump, he welcomes this money saver.
If we're paying money out of the general fund so that folks can use their credit cards to pay their water bill, it just doesn't make sense.
We also wanted to know what other cities in the valley do regarding debit and credit card payments. We found out that in Visalia, customers are charged a 2.8% fee for utility payments, but only for utility payments. They're not charged for making any other transaction there. Over in Clovis, if someone makes a utility or building permit payment online, they too are charged a fee, but not if they make those payments inside of City Hall. Back out here live now in Fresno, we're told that all 21 departments here at City Hall plan to get on board with this. They will all begin charging customers for using debit or credit cards within the next couple of months. We're live tonight at Fresno City Hall. Angela Greenwood, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Right, Angela Greenwood reporting for CBS Channel 47 right here in the city of Fresno. And you're probably asking, why did we show that report? Because it's the only station I saw here in Fresno. I didn't see Channel 24 or Channel 30 or 26 doing any story like that. I didn't see it in the Fresno Bee. So, I'm not sure why. I don't control the media, nor do I want to, but maybe it should have been more publicized. But Angela doing a great job of breaking it down and showing the numbers, Doug.
She did a great job. That was a great report.
Yeah.
They didn't mention in her report that there's an 89 cent for an e-bill. And most companies, like I said, PG&E, telephone company, all the other big public utility companies, they give you one avenue of free e-charges. This agreement the city has with Heartland gives them no ability to have a free charge to the customer for an e-use of any transaction.
But Angela's report also pointed out the fact that Visalia is doing this, Clovis doing it to a certain extent. So if Mark Standriff were here, he'd say, Doug, other cities, Visalia, Clovis, many other cities around the state of California are doing the same thing. They're charging the same fee, passing it on to the consumer instead of the city having to pay for it. And what's wrong with that?
And I get that. That's a reality check. But there's two things different that we haven't talked about in your last little incident here, and that is this city has decided that they're not going to tell very many people about it through a wide distribution.
You're talking about hiding this under the covers.
They could have done it right on the front page of their website, right? They could have put a blurb right underneath the picture when the e-bill thing with the mayor.
Or run it by the city council.
Well, they could have put it up on the web pages where you pay your bill now. Warning, you're going to be charged, or you are charged.
They didn't do that?
None of that. That's not up there at all. You don't even find it on the web pages, number one. Number two is the fact that the city wants to carve this money out that they're garnering from others to give to somebody else. Okay? And I have a fundamental problem of taking utility money that is computed based on the cost of carving out the cost from others to shift to those who first 16,700 households that come in the door. Frankly, that $5 they could use to pay their e-bill. When you compute $5, that basically means you could pay up to $217 plus of e-bill and be at $5. So in other words, they're giving you if you qualify that program, you're using your $5. You could use it to pay your e-bill and be made whole, right?
Yeah.
I make my e-bill charge. If I do it that way, I'm going to be charged either 89 cents or 2.3% of whatever my utility bill is. It's dysfunctional. It goes backwards in time. It isn't a convenience to the customer. It's basically a impact to the customer. And the city basically is saying, we need the money, impact be damned.
Well, it's a convenience fee for the city.
It's a convenience fee to be able
for
to
the
use
city, not for the consumer.
Right, and the fact that the city is having the ability to do what PG&E is doing, and chooses not to do it, which is allow me to still use an E method and not get charged. They want every manner and form, shape that anybody uses an e-transaction to be charged something.
PG&E does not do that.
Does not do that.
But the city wants...
Right. Telephone company does not do that. The big department stores do not do that. If you pay their credit card bill, they don't want you using somebody else's credit card to pay their credit card bill, so they want you to come right into your bank account and pay it. They don't charge you anything to do that. The city of Fresno could do that, but they sign an agreement with these folks that every e-transaction is going to have a charge to it that the Heartland's going to make money on. So Heartland is making money off of the city of Fresno consumer base, and they basically are telling the city of Fresno, you ought to be happy because you get to take your savings and do whatever you want to do with it. Somebody's making money on Heartland.
But you're saying that the savings the city is making on this transaction, on this deal, the money that they're saving, let's say it's $2 million, because it's part of that utility fund, they can't use it for general fund activities.
They can use it for general fund activities.
Oh, they can?
Yeah, I'm saying they shouldn't be able to use it for special programs to offset the cost of the utility program.
Gotcha.
Because that's a Proposition 218 discussion.
Okay, got that. All right, Doug Vagim is here. We're going to come back, continue our conversation on this taped program on this day. You're watching us on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno.
Watch Dr. TV on over-the-air channel 13.9.
Attention all units. We have reports of 2 motorcycle cops protecting California's highways.
That's for us, good buddy. The Men of Chips are on MeTV.
Hi, I'm John Baker. I'm John Baker. It's Officer Baker.
He's the blonde one.
Hi there! Officer Poncherello, man. Frank Poncherello.
Well, I'm Frank Poncherello.
And he's the one who's Eric Estrada.
There's no way I wouldn't remember a name like that.
Catch the blonde one and the one who's Eric Estrada on
now
Chips.
On MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
All right, back here on our tape program today, Doug Vagim is here. I want to put a couple of photos of the mayor. Let's start with the picture of the mayor announcing the recharge meetings. We'll start with that one, then put up a general photo of her and talk about the mayor here. There she is out on the field, the podium out there on the field, a remote podium. I see Mark Standriff nearby. You can see him there on the left. And so the mayor, Doug, what is her mindset here in the final months of her mayorship?
Well, she proved that she's a revenue hawk. She's going to get revenue whatever way she can. Prove that in the Measure G.
Revenue hawk meaning?
Finding revenue wherever she can, and that means
squeezing the taxpayer wherever she can.
Well, Measure G was a primary example of that, where the ratepayer was going to end up getting a so-called discount the first couple of years, but no guarantees except they're your only vendor, and if they want to raise the rates and you're out of the garbage business, what are you going to do?
So is that going to be her legacy here in Fresno, a revenue hawk?
And a kickback to the city of $10 million for the right to have an exclusive hauling contract with the city of Fresno. Well, this is kind of the same thing. Heartland's got an exclusive arrangement with the city of Fresno to give...
But are you describing it as a kickback?
Well, the city doesn't get any money out of it, but they get the savings out of it, and they're calling that a realistic amount of money because it's a savings. And I'm saying from a general fund standpoint, that is true. But from a utility standpoint, that is a burden that the city was bearing to make it convenient for customers to be able to pay their bills. Now that that burden is gone and they pass it on to the customers are paying that bill. The city shouldn't be able to make up stuff out of whole cloth to say, well, we have a savings, we can spend it somewhere else. No, sorry. Spend it on the expense of running your operating system.
All right, the water fight. This is, it didn't go to the vote. Obviously, it didn't go to the voters, but there was a fight in court, and there was a settlement. So do you think her running for controller hurt her chances in winning that race based on the fact of what happened with the water issue?
I do. I think she does, too. She even says it. Because, first of all, her opponent rolled out headlines and various other items about...
That was Betty Yee?
Betty Yee, and who is now the state controller, about the mayor suing her own citizens on just being able to take a petition out to the public. That was something that they were
harmful to her campaign.
Well, places like Orange County and stuff like that, you bet. Kern County, and maybe she probably squeaked out a few more votes than Betty in some of those more conservative places. But other people looked at that and they didn't vote.
They didn't vote for her.
They didn't vote for her.
Because of the water issue, the fight over Measure W.
Measure W, right. And because it became a statewide press event. They printed it all over the state of California. So you can't take as a conservative and call yourself a conservative and say you're suing people over the right that they're taking rates to the public through a petition and you're suing them. To me, that is not a conservative thing to do.
Well, if that's her true and honest record, and she's running on that, then what's wrong with that?
Well, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. The fact of it is I mean, your question was the fact that did it hurt her? And I'm saying it did.
Yeah, and she admits it.
She does.
Yeah. But is she upset about it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't get a temperature reading on it all the time, but the fact of it is, I think it's a very well-known fact that had an effect on the race, and perhaps the turnout was driven down a little bit on those who would vote for the conservative, maybe didn't come out, that kind of thing.
All right, a couple of minutes left here. Let's put up the water video of some people watering their lawns, and I know you do this on a regular basis. I don't know how often now. You're only supposed to do it twice a week, right? Mm-hmm. But the city of Clovis issuing $125,000 in fines to those people overall, not just the one person, overall for those who have violated the rules and gone over a certain amount, the amount that they're supposed to use. They've been, every city has been ordered to cut back their use on water. If you don't do it, you're going to get fined. Clovis has raked in more than $125,000 in fines over the last few months here, Doug. And Fresno has raked in some money too, not quite as much. What do you make of this?
Well, Fresno has a little different policy. They're watching for you watering, or now the policy has changed. If they come and drive up to your front lawn and they see it's wet and it's off hours, off day, they'll give you a citation. Clovis is basically watching the meter and saying if you go over some kind of percentage of allotment, they're going to fine you. I think, frankly, that's unlawful.
Yeah.
Because they haven't made a finding that they're in a rationing mode yet, and they need to make that finding and have hearings before I believe they could be able to do that. But since no one wants to take them on, they're going to do that.
The fines in Fresno over $79,000, and this is the headline in the Bee just a few weeks ago, talking about Clovis and that $125,000 that they've issued in fines. Let's roll a videotape from George Hostetter in the Fresno Bee talking about recycled water. We got a minute left. Who's going to go out and get recycled water if you don't have a pickup, if you don't have jugs to carry that water? Who's going to want to do this? I know George did it. George is a great guy. I love having him here. But God bless him if he's going to do it. Look at that. You've got to have jugs. You've got to be able to carry that water. It's heavy. Doug, 30 seconds. Who's going to do this? Is this program going to work?
First of all, that's not a jug. That's a laundry bag or something. But he was using anything he had just to demonstrate it. The fact of it is, what's proved here bigger than what is actually George is pointing out by getting out free water.
That's a barrel right there.
Go ahead. Remember, that is 57,000 acre-feet sitting under the ground of water that has been cleaned up by the natural ground that it seeped into. They don't need to build that $500 million water treatment plant out there to re-clean that water. They could just pump that water back our way. And it proves right there that it can be done because they can actually use that water. It's clean enough because the ground cleaned it up.
All right. I don't want to get cut off, Doug. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, maybe next time we'll have a little debate here with you and Mark Standrick.
Anytime.
That's going to do it for us, this taped edition. See you back next time here on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno.